best part about being a Victoria Royal?
Marty the Marmot.
It's pretty simple. I like that.
It's game on.
Tonight, hockey season is here. The Victoria Royals kick off training camp at the Save-On-Foods Memorial Arena.
Returning Raider BC Lions running back Andrew Harris goes back to where it all began.
And we hit the hard court with a rising tennis star who's serving up the competition. It's game on.
Game On is brought to you by Jenner Chevrolet Buick GMC. Here for you and in your community on the Old Island Highway.
Hello and welcome to Game On. Thanks for joining us here on a beautiful Monday night. I would be Jeff. This much younger fellow next to me is Paul. We have a lot of local sports to get to tonight.
Yes,
youngster.
Sir. Yes, mister. Yes, and with the weather finally nice and sunny, it's a shame we have to go indoors, but it's okay as it is the hockey season. And today, the Victoria Royals kicked off main camp, Jeff.
Oh, yes. Looking forward to that, Paul. Yes. Royals have officially arrived in the capital city. And now with under 3 weeks until the Western Hockey League regular season kicks off, the battle for roster spots is well underway. 120 players are split into 6 different teams. They'll play 2 games a day in a round-robin format. This is just a 3-day camp. And with the team playing an inter-squad game on Wednesday night, it's tight. That game will go at 7 o'clock at the Save-On-Foods Memorial Arena Wednesday. Now, there are a lot of returning players for the Royals this year, but of course they were in Chilliwack last season, so it's still a new experience for all these players. And with so many guys at camp, even the vets realize they need to make this team.
You know, it was good. I got my legs under me into going into the second period there. The first period was a little bit shaky, but, you know, it's a learning curve, and you have some fun. Oh, it's a beautiful city. You know, just being on the ocean, it's a lot different feel, and you know, I'm really looking forward to this year.
Yeah, it's a beautiful city. I love it here. You know, all the guys are pretty excited about the change here, and we're just trying to help the younger guys out, as I experienced last year. Come to main camp and just trying to get their nerves out.
Well, we try to open up all our spots. Realistically, there's not 22 spots available, but there are some openings. We want our young guys to push our older guys, and we've had a good morning session and game on right now.
Yes, it is game on.
Hey, thanks
Thanks
Mark.
for the pump up there, Mark. All right, let's switch gears to junior football now. And the Vancouver Island Raiders kept their perfect season intact this weekend with a big win It was a big win.
Huge.
And it was over the Okanagan Sun.
It was.
That's what I'm trying to say. The Raiders had a full team effort, but they also had a little inspiration earlier in the week with a blast from the past. For most football players, a bye week means a week away from the football field. But BC Lions running back Andrew Harris isn't like most football players. And when he was given a week off, it was a no-brainer to come back to where it all began.
Oh, it's great. You know, every time you get a chance to come back and give back to the team that helped you get to the point where you're at and win 3 national championships, it's always good to come back and see the guys that were under you at some point in time and see them blossom to all-stars and doing the things they're doing right now. So it's good to be back.
For 4 seasons, Harris terrorized the BCFC, racking up touchdowns at will. It was clear Andrew was in a league of his own. But when he made the jump to the Leos last year, Harris got lost in special teams.
Andrew Harris took that away from Tim Brown, and Harris...
Down but not out, the Winnipeg native stuck with it, and despite the team's 2-6 record this season, Harris has been one of the lone bright spots for the club and is back in the familiar role of running back.
You know, it feels great, you know, and I've been here and there, and I'm finally back at the position I'm more comfortable in now, and, you know, I'm happy now, and the fact is that I'm getting more touches and more reps, and I'm just taking it with stride, and hopefully more opportunities come our way.
1st and 10.
Andrews' I've made it moment came in week 2 against Calgary, scoring a go-ahead touchdown in style.
Another one of the young Canadians. It's pay dirt for BC.
And sitting just 3 rows up from the end zone that night was Andrews' former coach, Matt Snoop Blocker.
Well, it was incredible, and I was so proud of that day. You know, Andrew is pretty close to all of us here, and really close to our family, and he lived with us for a few years. So see him score his first touchdown, we were so excited for him, and it was a pretty special moment, I know, for my son and myself.
And while it's great Harris got to hang with his old team, he almost didn't make it. after having some trouble on the lake earlier in the day.
Yeah, you know, I was coming down to come watch the Snoop, and I was on a Sea-Doo, and I guess a rookie mistake, and I thought I'd be able to make it back to halfway across the lake, and I guess I misjudged a little bit, but yeah, I ran out of gas, and I made it here somehow. So.
Which may mark the first and last time anyone can say Andrew Harris ran out of gas.
This portion of Game On brought to you by Sopranos Bar and Grill, where fans gather before and after the game.
Ran out of gas.
First and last.
Very clever.
Thank you.
All right, let's check out what's going on in the world of amateur sports up and down our great island. A little segment we like to call Island Shoutouts.
That is right, and it's a baseball-themed look around the island this week, starting with the Leyritz ladies, who are back in town after representing Canada at the Softball Little League World Series in Washington State. Good going, ladies.
Yes, and over at Lambert Park, the Victoria Mariners hosting the Midget AAA Western Canadians. Check out the sweet stab from second baseman Arturo Romero, robbing Saskatchewan of a base hit there. Nice.
That is very nice. All right, finally, a huge congrats to the Nanaimo Pirates Pee Wee squad. They picked up a 7-0 win over Team BC on Saturday to take the gold at the Western Canadian Championships. They're all kind of pumped. Way to go, boys.
Yes, and don't forget, if you have any photo or videos of a local sports star or team in action, we want them. Get them to us.
That is right. All you have to do is give us a call or email us at gameon@checknews.ca.
Don't you dare go anywhere. We have much more Game On ahead, including a 16-year-old who is turning heads on the tennis court.
Also, a quick shift with Victoria Royals head coach and GM Mark Habscheid. It's hilarious. Stay with us. More Game On after this.
Welcome back to Game On. Make sure to stick around for our sports cage when Mark Morrison stops by.
Absolutely, yeah. The former Salmon Kings coach is now heading to St. John's to coach in the AHL. That's coming up. But first, we're talking summer sports still, Jeff, and a little tennis.
Yes, thanks very much, Paul. And
No
it
problem.
seems there's never a shortage of Vancouver Island athletes grabbing international attention. And that's no different when it comes to racket sports. And as Mike Walker shows us, is an up-and-coming Victoria teen who is turning heads on the tennis courts.
Most people's definition of a day on the court is a couple of hours in the sun at the neighborhood park. But for 16-year-old Tori Tronrud, the game of tennis is on a whole new level.
2 to 3 times a week, maybe more sometimes, and spending huge amounts of time in the gym, like in between tournaments, and trying to get in good shape.
And he's been doing it for years. Even now, he pretty much out every day hitting with somebody and finding strong players to hit with and do practice matches.
And all that hard work is paying off, giving the #1 island-ranked teen a chance to excel both across the country and south of the border.
It's been a great summer. It all started really with his big tournament in April, where he played against a top pro player in Canada, and it gave him a ton of confidence, and he's sort of been on a roll since then.
I see a lot of improvements, like doing really well in tournaments now. That's always a good thing. Feels nice and shows me that I'm improving.
Since, it's unbelievable, like within just 6-7 months, how much improvement he has made. And I think that, the credit goes to him.
And while it takes a full skill set to be dominant at this level on the court, Tori's real forte comes in his serve.
That has, tremendously, I think, helped him in winning a lot of matches, especially against players who are, aggressive as well. Having his forehand and his serve as a weapon has certainly, made life easier for him.
I try to practice them as much as possible, and sometimes you're able to outposition your opponents.
But that's not all it takes to be a top-level tennis player.
I think a lot of it is mental too. It's there's so much to the psychology and the confidence on the court.
I think that, his mental toughness has improved a lot. He's more confident, and now he is, getting to the point where, once he steps on the court, he, expects to win the match. He's not just coming there to play a decent match.
And with his senior year of high school beginning in September, Tori is now hoping to parlay his tennis success into a quality education both on and off the court.
I have been looking at universities down there, around here too, UVic, UBC. Definitely going to apply there, and I don't feel driven to do the big time. I'd rather play for a good university team and do well there.
the way he's playing right now, I can certainly say that he can make it to a top Division I or Division II school if he keeps working hard.
Meaning the future is bright for this rising tennis star.
Do you think Mike had ever picked up a tennis racket in his life?
No, or a golf club, hockey stick, baseball bat.
It's all right. It's all right, Magic
Love you,
Mike. Let's keep Magic Mike around, actually, for this week's Quick Shift.
Yes, with Victoria Royals training camp now in full swing, Mike Walker caught up with the team's head coach and general manager, Mark Habshak.
It was a tough one.
All right, we're here for another Quick Shift with the head coach of the Victoria Royals and GM of the Victoria Royals, Mark Habshak. We'll jump right in. Rookie camp playing for the
Marmot Mug.
Well, tell us, how did you come to this, other than, I suppose, Marty the Marmot?
Well, we had our crack staff on it. So we had our stick boys work many hours, and they came up with, I think, a very nice design.
Outstanding. Okay, we're going to take you back in history. Do you remember your first pair of hockey skates?
Yeah, they were wooden. Yeah, they were. That's how old I am.
What best thing about growing up on the farm in Saskatchewan?
Minus 70-degree weather.
That's a good thing?
Absolutely.
Okay. Well,
you get ice time anytime you want.
It's true. Well, then, conversely, best thing about being a coach in Victoria?
Not minus 70-degree weather when you're 48 years old.
To your playing days, best NHL memory?
Probably my first shift in the regular season, Montreal Forum, and the players that were on the ice.
What's the feeling you get on that first shift?
Well, that you made it. You go from a pond in Saskatchewan, now you're playing in the Montreal Forum, so kind of culmination of the work that you've done.
All right, to coaching, how about World Junior? A lot of great memories, obviously, from that. Is there one that stands out?
We got silver, so there's not a lot of great memories, okay? Let's maybe move on to a next question.
Fair enough, all right. Best part about being a Victoria Royal?
Marty the Marmot.
This has been another Quick Shift with
Mark Habshak.
Probably shouldn't have asked about the World Juniors.
Probably shouldn't have tried tennis either.
No,
all right, let's kick this into the driver's seat, kick the show into high gear.
Yes.
It's time for our plays of the week.
Yes.
Plays of the Week is brought to you by Spank It Sports, BC's largest selection of soccer, rugby, and football stuff.
All right, Paulie, let's get her going here. Battle of the undefeated in the Nanaimo over the weekend until Jordan Yance hooks up with Whitman Tamusiak. Yes, in the end zone, pays the price, but a 5-0 record for the Raiders.
Yeah, not to be outdone, check out the spectacular run from Greg Morris of the West Shore Rebels.
He goes
goal line to goal line.
Right.
Sets up the club record, 259 yards rushing on the day.
Nice. Well, we're talking field sports. Let's give a shout out to our BC rugby team. Took the national title last week. Way to go, fellas.
Hitting the ice with the Royals rookie camp over the weekend. Hitting a good way to describe it.
Yeah.
These guys going all out.
Yes, it was a busy week on the diamond with some wicked plays as well. How about Orioles third baseman Robert
Tamusiak
and Dino? What a grab.
Yeah,
Who needs the glove?
Yeah, one
Tamusiak.
MLB milestone retardant didn't want to be a part of this week. Yanks become the first team to hit 3 grand slams in one game. That is all kinds of ridiculous.
Yeah, it sure is. WLA Finals, and how about a little airborne action from the Bellies, Jordan McBride?
That's pretty nice. All right, back to the gridiron, and run-of-the-year candidate from West Shore Rebels, Andre Skinner. Spins off the tackle, delivers the nasty straight arm, rumbles all the way to the end zone.
Correct.
But it's all for naught.
No!
Yeah, he got called back for holding.
There'll be some swearing at the bench. Finally, a big shout-out to our buddy Bobby Scott, who had a pair of bombs and picked up the win for the Dodgers, who are 2011 Maverick League champs. Get going.
Yeah, Sanderson kid. All right, coming up next, Mark Morrison is in the sports cage to talk a little hockey.
Yes, but first, here's a look at some island standings.
Standings are brought to you by Robbins Parking, proudly supporting local community and events. Game On's Sports Cage is brought to you by Country Grocer. You'll feel like family.
Welcome back to Game On. You're in the Sports Cage, and Paul and I are happy to welcome Mark Morrison, soon to be, well, you now are the assistant coach of the St. John Ice Caps, but you leave here in 2 days to head to Winnipeg and all over the map. Must be excited, to go to that first Winnipeg Jets camp. First of all, I guess that's where you're off to.
Yeah, we start, we go to St. John's and get things organized, and then back to Winnipeg where rookie camp starts before we head to Penticton, where Calgary, Edmonton, San Jose, Vancouver are, and it's a huge tournament with 5 or 6 NHL teams. So yeah.
You're telling us about your schedule before. Just kind of walk us through what the next month is going to look like for you, because it's not just Winnipeg and St. John's. It's half across North America.
Yeah, we're busy. Keith and I, the other coach in St. John's, the head coach there, we'll start in St. John's where we'll organize ourselves, go to Winnipeg where we start rookie camp, off to Penticton for the remainder of rookie camp, back to Winnipeg where main camp starts, and then the exhibition game starts. So we're in Columbus, Nashville, back to Toronto, back to Winnipeg, and then out to St. John's. So it's
no doubt. But
it's busy.
One of the real cool things is that you will be behind the bench for the Winnipeg Jets. You know, they're making their comeback, and you'll actually get to coach a couple of their exhibition games.
Yeah, we will. Keith and I will get to coach Winnipeg in Columbus, as well as the game in St. John's against Ottawa, the Kraft Hockeysville game. So it's exciting.
When you think a year ago, right now, you know, you're signing Pete Vandermeer, and we're sitting at the canoe, canoe club, and right now you're off to Winnipeg and St. John's, you know, American Hockey League, and getting to be behind the bench of a couple NHL exhibition games. I mean, you know, what a script it's been for you in the last year. Bittersweet, I guess, in some ways.
Yeah, it is. I mean, you know what? It's exciting, and yeah, here we are here with some stuff, but no, it's
this is good stuff.
It's exciting.
That's you with the whistle on the glove, isn't it?
That's good shot.
You know, I think the real impressive thing is that we get to work with each other, and I get to work with some quality guys. As Claude Noel is coaching Winnipeg, and Pascal Vincent, and some other guys that are good. So you know, it should be a learning factor there.
No, I know you're definitely focusing on the future, but maybe just jump back in those final, maybe the last month of the Salmon King season. I mean, it really was Cinderella story-esque. You guys were winning those games and started to get the community behind you, and it really felt like something was going to happen.
And then, knowing the end was there.
Yeah, knowing it was all going to come. Maybe just talk about, you know, the end of the days for the Salmon Kings and just how it all felt, maybe emotionally for you as well.
Well, I think, you know, we had a run there in the playoffs, and we were, you know, there were some guys that were taking it personally that there was going to be no more team. They wanted to play here again another year or two. So there was some anger in there. There was some excitement with the playoffs that we'd won a couple of rounds. And there was a whole bunch of different feelings going on. Personally, you know, I was stuck in the moment, I guess, where we were trying to win the playoffs, and when it was all over, yeah, you know, it was a sad moment, and I left Victoria quick. I think I took off to Hawaii.
Yeah, you were fast as I could. I tried your cell phone right away.
Yeah, the day after I was on the beach, you know, like, and it was a sad thing, you know, as we watched some of the clips. And
I mean,
how
this
far
is the last game,
Yeah, and how far the team came along. Professionally wise, it wasn't just how we performed on the ice, but I thought off the ice it had all come around. I thought the staff had finally come around to be in a real professional run organization. So that part of it was sad, but you know what? We move on in that sport.
So with the WHL coming to town, I mean, you know, many people still have fond memories, and I'm sure you do too, looking back at when the Cougars were here. And I mean, man, you lit up that Western Hockey League yourself big time in the day. But the problem was back then, you know, they had to leave because they couldn't draw enough fans. The Royals starting here, main training camp, in fact, just starting today. What do you think, Mo? What do you think of the success and future of the Western Hockey League on the island?
Well, you know, compared to where it is everywhere else, it should be able to take off. I think that they'll have to have a competitive winning hockey team. It's just the way Victoria is. I mean, it's the way a lot of cities are, but Victoria in particular, I think there's so much for people to do. And they need to put on an exciting winning hockey club right away. Like, it's not, you know, they can't wait 3 or 4 years down the road and rebuild. It's got to be, they got to be competitive, and that's what, you know, people, I don't know, we've been waiting for it for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, the product's quite a little bit different than it was back in the day too. I mean, now it seems like the emphasis is on fast and big, and I mean, and you're seeing a lot of these guys go to the NHL now, and some of these bigger names. Do you think it's a different product? Do you think that may help? The fact, because it seems like it's got rebranded in the last couple of years.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think that back in the day it wasn't so You know, talking about when I played in a few years after, it wasn't so spread out as far as talent goes.
This is actually some shots we have.
There he is.
These are some shots, but you know, when I played, you know, we have to remember that on our team here in Victoria, when we had full houses, we had Grant Fuhr in the net and Barry Peterson and Toy Rod. We had 8 guys in the NHL off that team. So, I mean, it was good hockey, and Paul Cyr, Russ and Jeff.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I mean, I could name off Greg Adams. There was a lot of them. So I think now, you know, you'd be lucky to get one NHL guy on your team,
right?
Or one first-round draft pick.
Exactly. Yeah.
It definitely is a fast brand of hockey, and I think we'll just have to wait and see how it all plays out.
I thought Cleve brought up an interesting point when he said, you know, the WHL is great and everyone's excited about it, but there's only a select few players in the WHL who are ever going to make it to the ECHL and to those kind of leagues. And a lot of people are going to miss the product that was on the ice, because it was high quality hockey, but it just, it didn't quite click with some of the fans here.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that, you know, we had some of the best players in the Western Hockey League on our team. And Chris St. Jacques, who won the scoring race in the Western Hockey League, Kyle McLeod. And we go on down the list with guys, but I think people couldn't identify with the teams. You know, there's teams.
No rivalries. No
Idaho and Stockton comes
Fresno,
up, and people just couldn't identify with that. You know, and here it's a little bit different. You're bringing in Calgary and Saskatoon, and people know the names, and
even Vancouver.
And
you know,
the
they're
Giants,
first home and home.
Giants come in, and so it's about identifying the rivalries and really building the players too. So, you know, you can watch a kid who's 16 or 17 and maybe he gets to the NHL and everybody feels like they're part of.
You're following
him.
I think it's so.
So you're leaving town, and you know, every time I talk to you, you talk about how much you love Victoria. So I know that you're going to this great new job and everything, but I know that you know, in your heart, in some way, you wished that the team was here and you could still be.
What are you going to miss most about Victoria?
Absolutely. I just think my family, friends, you know, just wanting to be involved with the championship team here in Victoria.
Right.
So
Ice Caps.
there we are there.
Yeah. It's not a beer, by the way.
Tim Hortons sponsored Ice Caps.
I'll have another St. John's Ice Cap.
Yeah.
Well, listen, we appreciate you coming in today. You know, you were just a class act with us throughout your time with the Salmon Kings, and you know, sorry the way things went down, but happy to see you land on your feet and get this next step. And who knows? I mean, I think you got what it takes to, you know, be a head coach in the NHL in a couple of years. And I guess this is the beginning of that journey.
Well, I'd like to thank you guys too. You've been great with us and gave us lots of support, and I enjoyed my time here, and who knows.
All right. See you when you're a coach.
Good luck, brother.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Mo,
Thanks.
always a pleasure.
All right, Mark Morrison, and that is it. Another edition of Game On here on Check 6. Mo knows it. He'll tell everyone within the Ice Caps organization the place to be for your local sports fix here on Vancouver Island Monday nights. It's Game On at 7 and 10:30.